Hey, welcome to another Joe Gomez guitar lesson. This is part 2 of the warm-up videos, which will be the last of the warm-up videos, and this is all part of the practicing series that I'm starting to do. So if you watched the first video, now you should be fairly warmed up. This is an area where I suggest that you do some light stretching. And the reason we don't do it right when you start is because you could be, the muscles could be cold. You don't really have blood flowing yet. It's kind of the same as if you were to go to work out. Most likely you would do some light jogging or like jogging jacks or something like that, and then kind of get into your stretch. Um, you don't think of playing guitar or any other instrument kind of being like an athletic activity, but it kind of is. Especially if you start playing for a while, you can start to feel like the lactic acid building up and everything. Um, so do some light stretching. I don't have any that I can really suggest. I just kind of pull back on the fingers and just something to get everything feeling good. So with these sets of exercises, these are more meant for speed, um, but also the same idea of they're targeted on a certain technique that I want to have down before I really get into practice. What is something that I need? So this first one is about switching strings, because I know for myself and for most everybody that it's as far as guitar players go, it's moving between the strings. So for me, what I did was I decided I was going to take an exercise that I was already good at, which for me was the 1-2-3 exercise, or 1-2-3-4 exercise. I thought I was pretty good at that one. And just as a side note, this is a good idea for anybody to do. If you find something that your playing is kind of lacking, take an exercise you're really good at and try to make it fit whatever you need to work on. But anyway, so I took this 1-2-3-4 exercise and I wanted to set it up to where I was actually practicing switching between the strings. And so here's what I'm doing. So I'm on the 5th fret of the 1st string, and you can start anywhere. I just choose it from here. Now I'm going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, then go to string 2, string 1, to string 3. And that pattern kind of repeats back all the way to the 6th string. So I'm going to give you an example of what that might sound like. So these are going to be 8th notes, and it's all alternate picking. Once I get to the 6th string, what I do is just reverse the order. So it's 6 to 5, 6 to 4. I think I played the same string twice, but you get the idea. I'm not sure. So that you might find that to be kind of easy. And, once you build up the speed for it, it gets a little bit more difficult. However, it's not going to help all of your picking problems get in between the strings, because you're not, with that exercise, you're always going to the next string with a downstroke, which is, again, isn't always the case. So what I did was I removed the 3rd finger. So now I just have a 1, 2, 3 exercise. And then what that does is gets me to go to the next string with an upstroke. So it's down, up, on the next string. And I would do the same exercise. So you get the point. And then I do just 2 fingers as well. Just for fun. I don't do 1 note per string, but I guess you could if you wanted to. I do have a 1 note per string exercise though. And this one is great because it works on your inside and outside picking. And I'll explain that for the people that don't know. So inside picking is when the pick is stuck in between two strings. So in this case, I'm playing an F sharp on the first string and a D note on the second string. When I pick, let's say that I played an upstroke on the second string and I have a downstroke on the F sharp. The pick is stuck in between those two strings. That's inside picking. Outside picking is the opposite of that, where you're on the outside of the string. So say I did a downstroke on the D and then had to do an upstroke on the F sharp. That would be outside picking because the pick is outside of the strings. So this exercise was actually given to me by an instructor that I had, and he called it the Johnny Smith exercise, who was a fantastic jazz guitar player. So basically what it ends up being is like a D chord. And so this one's a little bit easier for me to just play it and then kind of explain what it is. So again, the metronome's set at 80. I'm just going to play the first two strings just to show you. And these will be eighth notes. So what I did there is taking from this chord, this top two notes, and I moved them up chromatically, and I went up a full octave. So this would be like a D chord in that position. And it's all strict alternate picking, and how it ends up becoming an inside and outside picking exercises. So on the first two notes, we've got a down on the second string, then up on the first string. Then you slide up with your fingers. So then you play the next note on the first string with a downstroke, and then the second note with an upstroke, and then you would slide your hand up to the next position. And then you do the same thing but backwards, and so on. The next step of that is doing the next note of that chord, which makes a D major triad, or most people kind of know that D major chord. And so with this one I do triplets. So I'll give you an example. I'm just going to move up on it, I'm not going to go back. So you might find that one is a lot more difficult at first. I know it was for me and the students that I share this with. They have a really hard time doing the triplet one. It's just a lot harder to do. But once you get good at that and you can get it up to a good speed, the next thing you do is add the next note, which in this case would be F sharp. Now you'd be playing that. And depending on my mood, for the day or how I'm feeling, I'll either do 16th notes or I'll just go back and do 8th notes. It just depends. It also kind of depends on what I'm working on. If I want to develop more speed, then I'll probably do that with the 16th notes, or if I'm just having a light day or I don't have a lot of time to practice or something, I'll just do 8th notes and go on. After that, you could add the next note, which is, in this case, is another D note. And for fun, I do like to do this in fives. It's usually pretty hard. For me, I don't get a lot of speed. Sometimes I can get it at 80 beats per minute. We can find out. So yeah, not today. It's sometimes I can get it up there, which is always fun to do when you can. But I like trying to get that odd time in there just to help with other parts of my playing. If I do want to practice doing fives, I've already got something to do that. And then the last part, which I'm not very good at, to be honest, is adding the next note of that chord. So that one would be that new note for your starting point on the 5th fret of the 6th string. So you basically, and that's an A note, and you keep that shape. Not easy, but it's great for your technique, and you'll start to find that you're able to alternate pick just one note per string a lot faster over a while. You'll start to get the technique, and it takes a long time. I'm just now starting to get to a point. I've been doing this exercise for years, and I'm just now getting to a point where I'm, really comfortable with it, and started going past just doing this and starting to write etudes for myself. Just trying to come up with different ideas. One thing I've been trying to come up with is an idea moving between that kind of stuff, and then moving on doing some other things. And that was all alternate picking. I'm starting to prefer the sound of that. It's a little bit more clean, just for my own taste, versus if I were to kind of sweep pick it. The notes kind of run together. That just has a little bit cleaner sound of it with the alternate picking. But saying that, what I do with this particular exercise is I'll try it in different ways. So maybe don't always start it with a downstroke. After a while, once you've got pretty comfortable with it, maybe start the exercise with an upstroke, which is going to feel a lot different. And I found out I was a lot slower at it first. I was actually kind of shocked, because you're still working on your inside and outside picking doing it either way, but I was kind of shocked at the speed difference at first. So it's good to work on it both ways. But after a while, once you've got kind of both of those, I do suggest sweep picking it. And for the people that don't know what sweep picking is, it's basically just running the pick across the strings. If you're going down, you just let the pick go down. If you're going up, you just drag the pick up. So, if you're doing it on the first 2 strings, it'd be down, down, up, up, down, down, up, up. So after a while, you want to throw that in there as well. The last section of this warm-up is something, because we've really been focusing on the right hand, and we've kind of neglected the left hand. So one thing that I do, actually, I stole this from, I think it was Michelangelo Badio's DVD, but it's all hammer-ons and pull-offs. But I think it's a great part of your warm-up. It gets your fingers moving. So basically what I do is I'll start on the 1st fret on the 6th string, and I'll do the pointer and middle fingers. So it'll be a pick, hammer. And so on. And that time I did all alternate picking. I think in his DVD, if I'm not mistaken, I think he does alternate down and then sweeps back. But I also suggest doing it the opposite way from him as well, and sweeping down. Sweeping down at first. That's it. No, alternate pick. I don't remember. Sweeping down, alternate picking back. Just so you get all different varieties of things you can do. So you want to do it with every finger group as well. So the first group would be your pointer and middle. After that, you want to do pointer and ring, and then pointer and pinky. Then you want to do your inside fingers, which would be the middle and ring. Then you do the middle and pinky. And then you do your outside fingers, which is always incredibly hard, but ring and pinky. And so the full exercise, I don't remember if I said this or not, but you go all the way to the 12th fret and then come back. I'm going to try to do it just fairly quickly just to show. So I'm starting to get sloppy here now. I was thinking about my picking. I was trying to use all three different picking styles doing that. When trying to stick to one, that ended up not working out. It got kind of sloppy there. But just so you could see what the right hand kind of looked like as you were doing that. So that's the end of the warm-ups. The next video I'll be uploading will be more strictly about building up speed and some different techniques, and you know, because I feel like after you're warmed up, that's probably the best time to really tackle that area of playing, is working on just pure technique. So I hope this video was a little bit more fun than the first one. I know warming up's not a fun thing to talk about, but as we continue to go through this, I think we'll have a lot more fun. So I hope you at least got something out of this one. Thanks, and I'll see you in the next one.